I would like to welcome all of you to this living teaching of Advaita. If you are online and would like to ask a question or make a comment, then instructions on how to raise your hand electronically can be found in the chat window.
Yes, Steve.
Good morning, Wayne.
Morning.
Couple of questions, not questions or kind of an inquiry.
Okay.
Basically, I was sitting here before you came down.
Yeah.
I was watching your computer screen, and I was just profoundly moved by the photos, and it's just like the immense beauty that kind of is revealed through your travels and all of that. So, and I want to kind of hear what the teachings have to say about awareness and the experiential or non-experiential qualities of those awareness, and kind of just in lieu of this, and what does beauty have to reveal to us? And kind of, to me, there's an intuitive kind of tug there. And I know from my early days in school studying Socrates, beauty was a very, very essential teaching at that, in ancient Greece. So anyway, I hope. I don't know if there's questions there, but anyway, yeah.
Yes, these photos that show up on my computer screen are from years and years of travel and family, and I have been very richly blessed with the interest and the resources to travel and to explore the world. My observation is that the nature of my organism, my human, and I don't think it's that unique, is that we tend to get desensitized to that which is humanly. And I've thought about this a lot, and I've looked into it a little bit, and it seems to be an adaptive human characteristic that we have adapted to do this, such that if you're living in the rainforest, your capacity to pull out that which is new and unique so that it pops immediately enables you to hunt and protect yourself, because those things that are new and different in the environment, if it jumps out at you fast, you're better prepared to deal with it. And so this kind of hierarchy of things in one's consciousness, whereby that which is new and different takes on a more immediate role, and that which is usual recedes, is a very human characteristic. I've observed it myself, and I think if you look into your own responses to your environment, whether it be the scent of a perfume or the natural beauty around you, in your home, in your living environment, which you see every day, that yes, you may get moments of appreciation, but that ongoing realization of the beauty of things around you recedes. So that said, I find traveling, in which I am exposed to new and different things, to be quite stimulating, and I enjoy that, and I appreciate that, and the world is in fact an amazing place, incredible. And one need not necessarily travel to get that. I mean, one can cultivate different ways of looking at that which is around you, such that you focus. And I mean, if you take a microscope to the carpet here at your feet and you go deep into it, there's a world revealed there of there's all kinds of stuff living in there, and there's wars going on between this little microbe and that one, and they're fighting for territory, and they're fighting for survival, and they're eating each other, and all of this stuff is going on right in a millimeter square of the carpeting here. So one need not necessarily go out into the world to be stimulated. But I have found that in my life, and since I was 17 years old, I have left the country every year since then. That was a long time ago. And so that represents a lot of travel and a lot of new exposure to things. And I've recorded over the years a lot of some of those peak images. I'd like to see them pop back up again too, because it re-stimulates that. And so this is a living teaching. And the whole point of the teaching is that it is a vibrant, immediate kind of teaching. And so its inherent value, not inherent value, its value, structural value, what I consider to be important, is that quality of vivacity, of livingness, which is here. And whatever can be done to stimulate that, I'm pretty much on board for it. It's gotten me in a lot of trouble over the years. Many years of alcoholism, drug addiction, all of that kind of stuff has been fueled in part by this. So it has potential negative aspects as well. But overall, beauty of life is often found in, kind of traditional things and interesting architecture and all of that kind of stuff, which we consider to be beautiful, that we respond to at some level of connection, that we feel connected to that at some level. And that to me is what I would often think of as beauty. I don't know if you ever saw that film American Beauty years ago. And there was a scene where the guy was shot and the blood came out and pooled on the floor. And it was absolutely staggeringly beautiful, the way it was presented, which was essentially quite a horrific scene, and yet the beauty was there. So to me, the beauty of this vivacity of living is not necessarily confined to those, quote, positive things that we all know and love and put in museums and snap pics of that come up on our computer screen that go, wow, that's gorgeous. That there is, even in the deep difficulties and pain of life, a quality of potential beauty as well, that links back to this vivacity, that links back to this quality of being very much alive and present for something. So that's my rant on beauty, but the qualities of awareness that you were asking about, teaching, I've kind of broken it up into three categories, if you will. And the first one is impersonal awareness, where there is the organism is aware by its nature. The fact that it is conscious and it has senses brings about a quality of awareness and beingness that is impersonal, not yet personalized. There's no sense that I am experiencing this. There is simply the experience.
Okay.
That was what I would call impersonal awareness. Then in human beings, and I don't know about other animals, but certainly in human beings, there is a quality of awareness which is self-awareness. The recognition of myself as this body and mind mechanism distinct from the other things, and that this quality of self has its own kind of experience. So there is a sense that I am here, I am doing something, I am feeling it. And it is this self-aware property that gives human beings the possibility of suffering, because there is a third quality, which I call this false sense of authorship, or this false sense of being an independent entity, which attaches to this self-aware state and claims it. So the self-aware state now has this additional property of the I that is aware, this me, considers itself to be independent of everything. So it kind of perverts, in a way, the state of self-awareness with a false claim that what this self is an independent entity. And by extension, all the others are independent entities as well. And this is what happens in every human being at age of 2, and which is the beginning of human suffering. So those are the three kinds of awareness that human organisms tend to have. Now, traditionally, over the years, that those two states of awareness have actually, or the first two states of awareness have often been thought of or talked about as only two. That this quality of independence of the self that attaches is misconstrued to be a property of the self, which leads to, in spiritual terms, the attempt to be rid of self. Which is an interesting proposition. And it's well worth pursuing. And try it. But it is a kind of like trying to lift yourself up off the ground by your bootstraps when you're standing in your boots. You can exert a lot of effort. And the results generally are pretty predictable. But the effort is often worth doing, so that you are utterly and completely convinced of the futility of this. Maybe. So it is in this mistaken sense that the self, this sense of self-identification is the root of the difficulty, is, I think, and to see if that is actually the case, or whether it's something more subtle. And in this teaching, we are pointing to this notional third state of awareness, this claiming quality, to see if that sense of being me can be kind of taken apart a little bit and see this component that is most often totally invisible, this claim of authorship, this claim of being the one responsible for what one is doing and what is happening. That claim can be recognized for what it is. In seeing it, its falseness is very often revealed. And so we have this living teaching of Advaita here to keep doing that.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
When I have a related
Okay,
question,
yeah,
it's appear in Sage, because to me it sounds like not only obviously the full sense of authorship is not there, but because the subject and object relationship collapses, there is no sense of, there is no second type of awareness either.
yes. Well, in the way I talk about it, the subject-object relationship does not collapse. It is seen for what it is, which is a manifestation of the source, of the infinite, of the soul unity, expresses as subject and object. That is the very basis for this conversation we're having. If we were not separate, if we were like this, there's no possibility of interaction because there's no space. There's no distinction between us. Anything can be experienced, discussed. So duality is the structure of the manifest. All this, you, me. Without that, what we have is undifferentiated consciousness, which is before the Big Bang, in which there is this infinite unity not yet manifested into anything. So thingness, be it universes, galaxies, planets, people, doesn't matter. But the thingness, this thingness is a movement of that source of that unity. And this movement into the what is called the 10,000 things. This movement into that doesn't destroy the unity. So there's no need for the 10,000 things to disappear for the unity to be whole. It's already whole. The 10,000 things are an integral aspect of this wholeness. So for the sage, those first two states are the state of the organism of the sage, in which there is movement between impersonal awareness and personalized awareness. When I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, I'm not thinking, that I'm brushing my teeth necessarily, something else may be happening. There's no awareness of the fact of what I am doing. There's no sense that I am brushing my teeth. Brushing my teeth is, you say, without any claim on my part that I am doing it. Even though obviously I am, there's no awareness of myself doing it. When there's awareness of myself doing it, then this doing is subject to the claim of authorship. And that's because when there's no sense that I am doing it, there's nothing for the sense of authorship to attach to. And that's why clever spiritual people try to get rid of the self. When the self is there, I suffer stuff, I get attached to things. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of myself. I'll be in the impersonal state all the time, and cool, try it. That's all I gotta say. Try it. Have at it. Yes, Anastasia.
Hello, Wayne. I'm so happy you're back. It's so nice to see you again. Yeah. Just now I feel that, yeah, I missed something. I mean, our meetings, yeah, it's really like became huge part of my life. Just like a couple of minutes ago, you spoke about impersonal awareness. Right now, I'm just experiencing, like, I don't know how to explain. I don't have a shape, anymore. The body is just like, okay, it is here, and I can, interact with the world through this body. And, there is senses, and I can speak definitely. And now I'm speaking, and just like something like that. But simultaneously, there is like an understanding of, like what vastness. You know what I mean? Like I can feel as if I can feel the whole universe.
And the fact that you can experience the whole universe is this personalized awareness. You are feeling this whole universe. There's a sense that, I am this vast thing that goes along simultaneously with the impersonal awareness.
But I can point, like who's feeling what? It's like a little bit mixed. Okay, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like personal. I don't know, maybe I didn't get what you just said, but it's not like the universe belongs to me. I don't feel like this.
No, it doesn't belong to you. That's the third state.
Yeah.
When you feel that the universe belongs to you.
I don't feel it. No, I don't.
You're right. So I'm saying, I understand. You don't feel that third state. But the first two states is what we're talking about here. In helping, these are conceptual distinctions.
Mhm.
These are concepts. Their only value is in facilitating some kind of understanding.
That's clear.
And if they don't, if they're confusing or you're not getting it or it's not resonating with you, forget about it. They're not necessary concepts.
Also, I'm just like able to see the thought process, like an idea is coming and I can, like register it. But I don't know, it's like I'm, like I don't know what happened to my English today. The words are like somewhere else. So I the idea is coming and there is a kind of like the distance. I mean, there is an observation, but I don't jump, like to take this idea, start, like playing with that. I don't know. But right now when I'm talking to you, there is a little bit of like, like hesitation, like that, I'm I don't know, as if I'm trying something, but that's strange because yeah. No, that's okay. As if, I'm trying like to connect, like, but again, this idea came from the past because it happened, before, and now I'm just like, okay, let's do the same. But no. Yeah, each moment is totally new. There is still there is this impulse to, like to talk, to ask a question, like to find more, to conceptualize about that. I don't know, but it is still here, like it's like pulsating. Oh my God, that's funny.
Yes,
Hi, Sir Wayne. I am very happy to share with you. Please, can you read my question in the chat? Because my English is very bad, but I can understand you. Sorry for my English.
yes. What language do you speak?
I write the
Yes, but
question
what is your
in the chat.
language?
Sorry?
Do you speak Spanish or
Yes,
Espanol?
I am from Venezuela, en español, sí.
Venezuela. Ah, okay. Tenemos traducción en español en martes. So I have been talking all morning about the personal and impersonal awareness. So perhaps if we want to get into the subtleties, it is best to do it on Tuesday with the translation. I don't know. I have no knowledge of the Vedas whatsoever. I'm not a bad Hindu. I'm not a Hindu at all. So Lena asked, can you please talk about fears for health, for example? It happens even when I know that it is totally a creation of my mind. Thank you. So we are not talking about practical fears where you have a of something serious, because it may be, and that kind of fear, if you will, is and it is related to your experience and your temperament, your nature, a lot of things. The fear that we're talking about in this teaching very much is this projected fear of what will become of me if I am sick. How will I deal with it? How will I be able to manage it? This quality of it being up to me is this overlay on top of the fear, which converts the fear of the moment into suffering. And in this teaching, this is what we are primarily concerned with, is that suffering and the quality that produces it. So fears in themselves are not going to necessarily go away, even with the understanding. What goes away is the suffering that the fear brings, in which the fear grows and covers everything. So it is no longer, I am afraid of this. I'm afraid this is going to happen. It is, I am afraid, period. It is an existential fear that comes from the sense that I am not going to be able to control this, that I am at the mercy of the universe, that I should somehow be able to make my will manifest, to somehow manage at least my reactions. And I can't even do that. And that feeds this fear. So it just snowballs, becomes huge, it becomes everything. And that's the fear we're concerned with. Elena says, I see, it's exactly this, a kind of suffering about what if, losing control. So in this teaching, we point to the essential question, did you have the control to begin with? Do you ever have this control inherently?
So with impersonal awareness and personal awareness, it seems, the not to-ness of those where this concept. I know a guy who is an author and a kind of an activist of sorts. His thing is non-ownership, like non-materialism, as it were. Like right now, he's like living in Griffith Park and holding meetings and stuff. And in speaking with him, it kind of dawned on me that what we might be pointing at here is internal ownership, right? Ownership of the personal that which is taken personally is owned by me. The sense of control of the absurdity of the idea of owning anything really is what arises,
So really what we're talking about is whether, is a subtle quality to ownership.
Yeah.
Which is, we own things which we can say means we temporarily have them.
Yeah.
That's, we can say, so it is mine for this moment,
Right.
meaning it's in my little area. You say, that's mine. And that's a practical distinction that we make. When we think that this ownership has some absolute quality to it, When it's mine, if I'm independent and I have it, then it is the fact that I have it means in the overall scheme of the universe, something much bigger. This quality of ownership, because it attaches to me as an independent owner.
Right.
If I am not independent, then that which I have isn't independent either. It's part of this dance of my being. That, you know, today I have this, and tomorrow it can all go away. And that includes my breath.
Yeah.
I mean, I have it. It is mine. I can hold it for a little while. I can manipulate it for a little while. I can do things with it. So in large measure depends on what we mean by ownership.
Even to the concept of owning that which of which I'm personally aware, you know, like the on a level of experience, you know. And it's like the note the bootstrap metaphor for the no self idea makes a lot of sense. And at the same time, it's also attachment to self, the personal awareness is like that there could be a letting go of attachment to that of which I'm personally aware. Like it doesn't go away, but it's the attachment to it.
Okay, attachment is something else.
Okay.
I mean, this is another quality
Uh-huh.
that you can own something and not be attached to it.
Right. Yeah.
So that, yeah,
Yeah.
you want it, you can have it.
Yeah.
I mean, I put attachment
Right.
to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So attachment is something else.
Right.
And what we generally think of it as attachment is a desire to sustain that which is into the future.
Mhm.
To control it.
Yeah.
Make sure somebody else doesn't take it, somebody else, or that I have it when I need it, that all of these things. Add to attachment.
Good luck. It always comes back down to what is responsible for anything that happens. And the deeper that you're able to go into this question, the more that may be revealed. Steve, could you open the... Yes. It may, but there's no formula that I have, I'm afraid. Well, the same answer that I gave to your previous question remains. What is responsible for anything that happens? This is the inquiry that this teaching is promoting and pointing you to look. What makes you do what you do? We say the outcome is dependent on me and what I do. Okay, what makes you do what you do? That's the question. And this teaching does not supply the answer.